Well, I think most of the things that are developing now is beneficial to both sides. And there's so many things in addition to me. The fact that we're having this conversation, and I think most people are having the same conversation. My experience is that China has become part of everybody's vernacular. And here's a case in point. 2 months ago, I was attending a conference, not China-related conference, in Sun Valley, Idaho. And I was listening to the gardeners of the Sun Valley, Idaho, country club talking. These are, redneck kind of guys standing around a big grass cutter. And one of the guys said, we ought to all learn Chinese because that's where things are at anyways. So this is pervasive, and the rise of China is a global issue. And one of my heroes, a guy named the inventor of the geodesic dome, he adheres to a concept called precession. Precession is the influence of bodies in motion on other bodies in motion, and the best way to think about that concept is bees, believe it or not. Bees, what do? Bees are pursuing honey, right? But in the process of pursuing their honey, because they're just wanting to be fed and to be nourished. But what happens is that in the course of pursuing honey, they become pollinators. They take the pollen and they pollinate it everywhere, and it's a pollination effect that gives this rich, diverse vegetation that kind of gives life and sustains all of us. But the bee's intention is basically to have honey. But in the pursuit of their honey, this precessive effect means that they've accomplished something incredibly powerful in pursuit of that. And the same way I think about it in China. Because now China has all of a sudden become synonymous in America with opportunity. It's no longer the American dream, it's the Chinese dream. The fact that you could chart out a new course, you could create something so amazingly creative and beautiful in a way that is unimaginable. In China, to many, whether that's real or not real, deserve it or not so, idealistically it's become that. So there is a precessive effect. So in the pursuit of everybody pursuing their China dream, whatever it is, whether it's selling, 1% of your widget to 1% of the Chinese population, whatever your dream is, the outcome will be closer ties and relationships between people of the East and West that has been unprecedented. And I feel like that is the precessive effect. So the pursuit of bees for honey has created this wonderful vegetation and this cornucopia of different kinds of plants around the world. We're going to see a whole new integrated humanity as a result of the opening of China, and that is something that is happening in our generation in real time. Gosh, I could tell you my wish list, and my wish list is that the two sides would come together on the climate crisis. In fact, I think it's the most, I think every citizen of the planet would agree that the climate crisis that we're undergoing is now becoming real with every day. Every weather changing pattern points to this aspect of our changing environment. And I think the most critical thing the two sides need to come together on is an effective way to deal with the environmental pollution of our planet at this rapid rate, and developing a strong partnership on curtailing these very, very dangerous, catastrophic trends. So that is my aspirational idea, and I think it can only be accomplished through people coming together, not necessarily governments. We talked about this concept of politics being the last driver to reflect change as opposed to being the first. So I believe and I hope that all these various smaller collaborations that we're seeing, whether it's a movie project or a television project or building this plant, and I have very, very good friends who are now trying to resuscitate Detroit, Michigan, with Chinese production apparatuses. So I think there's a million good things to do. People are doing, whether it's in trade, whether it's in education or a non-profit. This cross-pollination is such a phenomenon that it can't even be captured by one or two conversations, that this is fairly ubiquitous at all levels. Every business person, every person big or small, including the grass cutter over Sun Valley, Idaho, have now have an impression of making it work. But what is the most exciting thing to me is the two sides coming together on dealing with the common threat of the climate crisis. And that to me would be the mother lode. And frankly, that is probably the most relevant, important accomplishment of our time, without which I don't believe I'm being overly dramatic to say that there's very little hope for mankind. Well, that's such an incredibly rich question. And the hard answer and the easy answer is that all of the above. Because all of those factors you described, from culture to commerce to strategy to market share, all of those things are considerations of the entertainment industry in collaborating together. So there's a lot of reasons what would drive the two sides together, and for a lot of the reasons that you described would also pull them apart. Well, first, I think the easy one is profit. If coming together means that you're going to together reduce the risk to a lower factor and up the potential for financial success to a higher level, that's the basis of why anyone would want to come together. And I think equally powerfully, and this is more for the creative people in the business and the passionate people in this business, that there's a new realm. Because I think people in media and entertainment and what we do, we're always looking to break new ground. First of all, it's not really possible to break new ground, because I think Shakespeare or the other forefathers were right. There's only about, depending on who you talk to, 7 to 15 narratives that get recycled over and over again. But on top of it all, there's a newness in them discovering each other. So there's a creative synergy. There's a creative opportunity to seize a new perspective, a new way of doing something, and that is new for the content of entertainment. So I think both two, profit and creativity, and in fact, I think there's enough momentum on both sides to really push it forward. So I believe that the nexus of Hollywood and China, as evidenced by our most recent event here in Los Angeles, is the biggest driver in Hollywood today.